Good. Thank you for making it on to Inspiring Playful Evolutions podcast. This is a series that I'm putting together to basically share different modalities for health and wellness with people as we move through these crazy times. And I know that it's been a bit of a challenge setting this up, seeing as you're out in the mountains and pretty much living somewhat of a sustainable off-grid lifestyle. So thank you so much for putting the effort in to get the signal on and and secure this for us.
My pleasure. It's definitely a game changer being without Wi-Fi and trying to navigate your life around it.
Definitely. So I'm going to read for whoever is tuning in. I just wanted to share a little bit about who you are in terms of all of the things that you've done, and sort of just to give them an idea about the work that you do. So you're a certified yoga instructor with Rose Yoga, personal development coach, and heart opener. You're also certified in unified yoga, Vinyasa flow. And for information or on sessions, you can reach Veruschka at Rose Yoga. But I'll post all the links below in the details. You're a certified healing arts coach and also certified in transformational dance. And you have an incredible body of work that can be found on Magical Wood Studios, where you showcase some of the work as an alchemical photographer, which I've had the privilege of doing with you, and felt it was extremely powerful, something that is very unique. And I think everybody should check out your work with that. And it's very transformational. You're an event curator and guide to beautiful hotspots wherever you happen to be in the world, tailored to ecstatic living, nature discovery, and adventure. And also being a medicine woman, as you've traveled, you sort of, wherever you move around, gather flower essences and source from the plant medicines to create different flower and plant essences, which you share. And I think you have, you also have a link to that where people can purchase some of your magic that you put together. And then the reason why I brought you on was especially for you to share on advanced EFT techniques, so emotional freedom technique. So you're a certified advanced practitioner in that, and helping people remove emotional blocks and patterns, including trauma. And also, it helps to create a space for compassion and relating within this community. So and then also I wanted to mention that you have an awesome YouTube channel with some really, really great interviews going back quite a long time. And I highly recommend people to check out your YouTube channel. You also have some tapping videos in there and a whole bunch of other goodies. So I will post the link as well for that below. And that is Rose Yoga, Tapping into Heart Courage is the name of the YouTube channel. So there's a big introduction there with a lot of different things. And I'd love to dive into so many of them with you today, but I know that, we only have so much time. So we're going to focus on the emotional freedom technique, which is a really awesome tool that I'd like to share with people. And maybe you can just share a little bit about how, or anything you want to introduce, any further introductions for yourself, and how you came to discover that healing modality for yourself.
Thank you so much, Jessica. I love all of the enthusiasm and joy you have for transformation and energy medicine and what we share around this and how much we've gotten to explore and experience together. And shooting you is really magical. Yeah, I've been exposed to the healing arts probably since I was 17 or earlier, if you want to even call chiropractors, alternative healing. And I thought that I guess one could say I was always finding exactly what I needed at the time, and went on a pretty serious spiritual path and, the yogic path, Eastern philosophy type of thing. So, really into health and wellness and nutritionists and cleanses and diet and yoga and dance and all these different things, and, centered around meditation and leading a peaceful life. And yet, like, trauma I had from my childhood, I didn't even know that I had PTSD. Like, I had everything figured out in my mind, rationally. And I was really into hypnotherapy and felt that that was like the quickest way to getting to big themes in your life, except I was working on the same topic for 15 years. And every time I talked about the incident, I was still like, and then the door opened, and then I saw the gun. And, it's like you're still in your body reliving, you can always find a juicy bit to the story that is so fresh in your nervous system, And so even though I had it all figured out, I was still having the same stress responses. But I didn't really think it was a problem because at least I understood it, right? So I was living in Austin, Texas, and was part of the ecstatic dance community there. And this is like 2005, I think. And one of our community members learned this practice called emotional freedom technique and invited people to a little circle. And I'm like, I'm game. I'm always game to try out new things. And I just picked some willy-nilly topic of childhood pain, and like within minutes it was freshly being extracted from my body. The emotion, the sense, the taste, the smell, like everything was so real coming out. And I was just so floored that in a short period of time, in under a half an hour, I had gone into something so deep and tragic, and I came out with feeling free, and I just like, what is this mystery thing? And so I ended up taking a lot of the circles with the teacher. Sonia Sophia is her name, and she's now the Sonia Sophia Living Art School, which I'm a master EFT practitioner with. And she had learned from the originator, Gary Craig. And so I ended up studying all of Gary Craig's material with her. And I had just like this, in a weekend workshop we did, and we were practicing with each other. I had picked this original trauma and somehow got to it, within 10 minutes, and cried like I never cried before. But it was really short. Like when the emotion came out, it was like, I'm going to have to cry for days. Like, this is so overwhelming. But you like nailed, nailed the hammered the nail on the head. And so it's like, boom. And it was just gone, within a minute. And it's like this bubble comes out of your psyche, your body, body, mind, spirit experience, and it just gets popped. And it's like, you can't put that thing together. It's more like the next day I woke up and I just felt an absence of something that I'd never felt before. Like everything felt so normal. And that's very abnormal if you don't know what normal has ever felt like, And so for me, it was like a complete miracle to feel that my nervous system had actually changed. And that less than an hour, I had actually cleared this original PTSD that I had been talking about in talk therapy or in hypnotherapy for over 15 years. And in that moment, I was like, I want this for everyone. I want this for everyone. And so I continued studying with Sonia Sophia, and she was such a wonderful teacher. And her gift was applying the group work. So immediately I was doing all of her circles. I was really shy, really afraid of public speaking, and she ended up moving. So I took over her circle. She asked me to, and it was like, that was my edge. But it, you know, the tricky and sneaky thing is it gave me the practice and experience and ability. So once I started then moving to Hawaii and traveling, I was able to conduct circles everywhere. And then I ended up being able to do it over the phone too, and doing online things. So I'm really, really grateful as a practitioner that was handed this gift and got cultivated and working, doing the group work, because that is where we get so much more bang for our buck, being like in the community and seeing that we all have the same feelings. And it's just that moment where we see that we're all not very different is when our own issues collapse. So you're actually doing so much more collective healing in a quicker way. And that's where I feel very, very honored that I get to get to work more efficiently. So my love really lies with group work, knowing that everyone just gets so much more rapid results. Because most of the time we don't even know what we're feeling. Like I can be angry about the same situation. You could be sad about it, but we really do both feel angry and sad. We just aren't connected to it yet. But if we say it and honor it and accept it, it's like, oh, well, you just cleared that for me, and you just mirrored this for me. And it's like the whole, what I call mirror ball life. Like, okay, you don't have to look very far to see who's triggering you, why you're triggered, what's the sameness. It's because it's all this self-reflective consciousness.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I've never tried it in a group setting, so that would be interesting. But I have done it alone, and it was a video that you put out. And I think I did it previously with you a few years before that. But it was a moment when I was having a really big meltdown, and the thing that's always blocked me with tapping was initially just like the strangeness of it, right? Having to, we're so used to whenever something comes up, especially in today's day and age with allopathic medicine, we run to the doctors and we get some antidepressants or that sort of thing. And using this technique where you're sort of tapping on yourself brought up a whole bunch of different feelings that I had to move through first, just to be able to try out, to say, okay, I'm going to do this and I'm going to take it seriously. And I'm so glad that I did, because within like just that video of whatever, 20-25 minutes, it totally broke apart this huge ball of tension that I had been carrying for probably months. So, yeah, what do you have to say about that in terms of, is this something that some of the people that you work with also have to move through when they encounter tapping?
It's just so interesting, how people always just, do want to throw out the baby with the bathwater and just say, oh, I tried that tapping thing. Oh, it's just so confusing. And oh, I didn't really understand it. And it's true. I mean, like anything else, it depends on who's the Sherpa that's introducing you to this new experience. So if you're not, if it's disembodied, you might not make the connection. And it's an interesting technique because, I'm realizing that it was invented by, it's a longer history and I'm not going to get into it, but from how I was introduced to it was Gary Craig being an engineer, and he was just like using his mind to figure out things that, not a lot of males like to go do personal work or talk therapy and da. So I feel like he kind of did the humanity a favor and like, let's make healing like not foo-foo and make it a little more practical. So let's take this proven, lineage of Chinese medicine and the meridians and energy that's been around for thousands and thousands of years, and now let's add some Western psychological medicine, and why, let's look at our polarities when we think something's good or bad, and how we get affected by our brain and what we put in and how it makes us feel, and we don't know what we're feeling. And so he just really took it down into a very technical way. This is just totally my interpretation. And was like, okay, so how do we marry the brain and this incredible energy system, freeway network in our body, and let's connect the body and mind, So with acupuncture, we're putting a needle and connecting one point to another with a needle here and there, so we open the energy flow. And so Gary Craig says that, you know, a trauma, like an experience that's undigested or unresolved, gets lodged in our meridians as an event that's like clogs the flow of energy. So basically he was like, okay, so if we do this sequence of points, you know, he probably found the shortest cut that would make sense to clear our clogged energy system. And let's add like, let's honor what you're feeling, both good and bad. You know, even though I'm afraid, I love and accept myself. Or even though I'm angry, I'm still a good person. Because most people don't already, they don't even have the notion of I love myself. But you could say I'm still a good person, and that just thinking that or saying that causes instant relief. So you're adding the paradox in. So I feel like I'm just grateful for him to find a way that gets like cuts to the chase to like let's connect the mind and the body. And that's why you're getting the shift, because you are talking to your subconscious and you're talking to your body while you're doing it, and you're probably saying things that you've never said before, like I'm afraid and it's okay, or I forgive myself for being afraid. You're like, you never ever think those thoughts in your life by yourself, you know, unless you were introduced to the concept. But we're so conditioned and programmed that not until we're good, or you know, not till we stop being bad, are we going to be good. So we have already something in place where, you know, our judgment and our limitations are never gonna. It's always going to leave the paradox intact, right? And so the magic of the EFT is just like, just by honoring both sides, you kind of have collapsed the boogeyman. You know, there's no one else to like blackmail you. And suddenly your nervous system is like in this neutral state. And so I like to just call it changing your mind and your body. And so anyway, this whole long introduction with Gary Craig and the Meridian, So what I wanted to say was what I dislike about your experience, how when people get into it, or me starting to introduce a session to someone, I don't want their mind to get wrapped up in like, okay, tap here and now tap there. And they're like, oh, but I'm tapping here. Is that? And so they get so distracted with the tapping or wondering if they missed a point, they did something wrong. So half of yourself is totally preoccupied and like doing the right thing. So you're not going to get the benefit of the tapping, like maybe not 100% benefit, right? You're probably going to get a little benefit because you're at least trying, right? And saying these new words you never said or did the tapping. And I've really found out that you don't really have to do any of the sequences, that as long as we're just tapping and creating a disruption in the nervous system, we're already like throwing a wrench in the normal pattern. So I just try for people to not get hung up on it. And in fact, since about 2013, I've been leading most of my sessions over the phone where they don't even see me. And I didn't even know that would be possible. I think they would have to like mirror me because it's a call and a response type of modality, and I can now tap here. So I just over the phone call out where to tap, but I really just tell them, you know what, you can't do anything wrong. Like right now, when I even have people just tell me what's going on, I just invite them to tap where they're feeling the most energy. Like, is this in my heart? Is this in my solar plexus? Is this in my gut? You know, is this in my hips? Like, you know, we're all going through a lot of primal, like first chakra type of stuff, like I am, and, you know, where are you going to live? And, you know, very much, am I here? And this fear of not having the foundation. So most half of my tapping right now is I'm actually working with first and second chakras. Like I'm just, and that's not even in the world of emotional freedom technique. So it's just more, it's been this natural progression for me of where energy is guiding me, and just through experience to see where people are stuck. And I'm a surrogate. I'm a highly sensitive person. I feel surrogately where they're holding it. So I'm actually on one-on-one sessions, I'm tapping with the person. I'm saying, okay, now go to your belly button. You know, now go to your knees or to your throat, you know, something. It's just more, it's intuitive at this point. So I just really tell people you can't do anything wrong if you like, if all else fails, just tap here, because this is where we, you know, hold our breath. something's going on, if we're feeling things we don't want to breathe, because then we're going to change the thing, or that thing might come out, right? So it's just like, I always just say, imagine you're soothing a baby. Like, how would you tap it? You know, open palm, tap on your chest. But if this is gut wrenching, or you can't digest it, or, you know, you feel like you got punched in the gut, you know, like, let's go to the stomach. And that's a really vulnerable area. And, you know, most of my work is women's work, but, you know, we all hold that being able to digest life and personal power. Like, there's a lot of anxiety that most of us are dealing with. So,
Mhm.
yeah, that's basically my own personal evolution of it, and how I just try to tell people, don't get caught up on the details. Just be touching your body, because as long as you're tracking what the feeling is and can actually identify the feeling, the tapping is going to start off gassing it, and it just changes so rapidly. I mean, you can really change your mind and your body in minutes.
Mhm. So you kind of went over this a little bit, but just to make it a bit clear, um, who do you think, or what moments is this tool, when is it most effective to pull this tool out of the toolbox? Is it when you're in an emotion, a very strong emotion, or can it be used if you're completely calm? And like, how does that work? Do clients usually come to you because they're moving through something, and that's when it's most effective?
Yeah, I mean, the entry point can be at any time, whether you're in a good space and you're like, hey, this is a really great time to work on my sexual trauma. I mean, you can choose, like, you know, I'm aware of this. And so you go into it, and it's, you know, it's about the introduction to the memories and being safe in your body to tell the story. And usually people are really resourceful then, because it's more time, you have the support and connection. And then people feel more safe to access the scary things that they've been trying to avoid for so long. So that's one way of going at it. But, you know, the oh my god, I need this now, I mean, it could be an event that happens, you know, like a death in the family, or this fear of anxiety of work, or an addiction that you just feel like, I don't know how to get out of this, it's causing me stress. So it's usually people, when I get a request for tapping, I usually know this person is so ready to change it. Like, I already know that they contacted me because they're ready to change this. And it's already like, oh, the golden ticket. They already got the golden ticket because they are willing and they know there needs to be a change. And that allows it. Then, of course, if it's like on their desktop of intensity, it's so fast to access it. And that's so beautiful, because usually we can take it down by 50% in the first 3 sentences, because it's so acute. And the moment you just let the cat out of the bag, it just loses its steam. And
Mhm.
like, we're usually giggling, you know, like, it's just such a beautiful modality, because you can deal with the heavy stuff and you're simultaneously witnessing the heaviness leaving. So it's like, people laugh, I'm burping, yawning, crying. And, like, you know, people can cry the instant you just say the right word, because they've never put that word, like, even though I feel like I am a huge failure, I'm giving myself the compassion I need. And suddenly it's like, oh, you know, they've never thought of just like giving themselves a little pat on the back. And it's like, it's just beautiful, because then the tears are gone in a minute again, you know, and then we're laughing about the stupid thought.
Mhm.
And
Mhm.
so that's what makes it joyful, because you're like, people always feel good after EFT, you
Mhm. Thank you. Yeah. So we were discussing trying one out today live to, just to give people an idea of what it's about. They can join in if they want. And, if they feel that it's helpful, then they can reach out and contact you to do a private session, or just to learn more about it in general. And I was thinking of different themes. We had discussed kind of briefly. I'm not sure what you're going to choose, but I had thought about like sort of just collectively, this collective anxiety around health and wellness came up really strong. I don't know if you're ready, but we can always, I could switch the screens over and we can basically do a tapping session right here and right now.
want to do like a 5-minute one?
Yeah, I think that would be good. Just to give people an idea of what it's about and allow them to participate. So yeah,
Yeah,
five
this is
minutes is a good amount of time.
yeah, I think this is a really perfect topic, and I was actually thinking about the same thing because we go through different stages in life. Like I'm in my Crohn's stage now and going through, menopause and different, you go through different stages where your body's doing new things and I can get really hypochondriac and like in Hawaii 3 years ago, I was there during the eruption and had to go evacuate and the air was shifting nonstop from extremely toxic to, you're hoping the wind's blowing the other way. And so I had a lot of just phantom pains and stomach issues after that incident. I had an almost asthma experience in the post office. So that's when I chose to leave the island right away. So it's, when we're encountering new things and not really having any proof of what's going on, like how did the air affect me? How bad did it affect me? Right now, I am surrounded by wildfires for the last month. Every day is a different degree. Somebody's wearing masks. And again, it's like, it's this unseen thing and you feel really helpless in monitoring, how is this affecting me? One morning I threw up and is this the air? Do I have any, what makes us safe? And, or how's the doctor going to determine what happened to me in my lungs? Like I went and got checked every year and everything came out normal. And I'm like, why do I feel so crazy, or it's really a feeling of out of control, and so we want to attach meaning and of course put worst case scenarios. Do I have Lyme disease? Do I have cancer? Is it this? And so I think it's more about monitoring our fear and just showing more curiosity to those body parts, because I think, and just following the lead of like, oh, I heard this is good for that, or I'm going to start, for my stomach, maybe introduce friendly bacteria and eat more sauerkraut, just inviting ourselves to just follow the next best thing that might alleviate instead of making things worst case scenario. But because our minds naturally do that, we're going to use language that's really dramatic in the tapping.
Okay.
It's drama queens anyway, right? So I'll just do the traditional Gary Craig one where we rub on our sore spots. So it's under the collarbones, just on our pecs. If you kind of press anywhere, you'll find a tender spot. And again, it doesn't really matter. Some people do the karate chops. I'm not favoring anything. I'm just doing what I normally do. Okay, and so the way it goes is that whatever I say, just find that place where you just try to lean into that emotion, how you relate to what I'm saying. That makes it just the most connected for each of us, to lean into the feeling instead of listening to it with your mind.
So am I repeating after you?
You're gonna repeat after me, and then we're gonna do a lot of breathing together. Okay, here we go. Even though I'm so terrified of any phantom pains I'm feeling right now.
Even though I'm so terrified of any phantom pains I'm feeling right now.
I don't know what's going on.
I don't know what's going on.
I've never felt like this.
I've never felt like this.
Am I getting sick?
Am I getting sick?
I'm so sorry.
I'm so sorry.
This is stressing me out.
This is stressing me out.
I'm choosing to love and accept myself.
I am choosing to love and accept myself.
With or without this discomfort.
With or without this discomfort.
Where I have no idea what this means.
Where I have no idea what this means.
Take a deep breath. Across the chest, another sore area. Even though I'm so afraid.
Even though I'm so afraid.
I haven't been taking well enough care of myself.
I haven't been taking well enough care of myself.
What am I doing wrong?
What am I doing wrong?
What am I doing right?
What am I doing right?
What are they spraying in the air that I'm breathing right now?
What are they spraying in the air that I'm breathing right now?
It feels so out of control.
It feels so out of control.
I'm so sorry.
I am so sorry.
I'm safe to release the stress.
I'm safe to release this stress.
I love and respect myself,
I love and respect myself,
with or without all of these worries
with or without all of these worries
around my health and wellness.
around my health and wellness.
Take a deep breath. Across the chest one more time, find another area. Even though I'm freaking out,
Even though I'm freaking out,
I feel so out of control.
I feel so out of control.
I'm so afraid to die.
I'm so afraid to die.
Am I dying?
Am I dying?
Am I going to die?
Am I going to die?
Yeah, at some time,
Yeah, at some time,
but not right now.
but not right now.
I love and forgive myself
I love and forgive myself
for being terrified
for being terrified
of my own pain
of my own pain
and my own eventual passing.
and my own eventual passing.
Take a deep breath. Up inside the eyebrow. Well, I'm here now.
Well, I'm here now.
Well, I'm here now.
Oh, well, I'm here now.
Side of the eye. I'm open to the possibility
I'm open to the possibility
that I can trade in this fear and worry
that I can trade in this fear and worry
with curiosity
with curiosity
and pathways to support
and pathways to support.
under the eye. What would it take for me
What would it take for me
to find the perfect information I need
to find the perfect information I need
to help me feel better
to help me feel better?
under the nose? I'm so sorry I'm stressing out.
I'm so sorry I'm stressing out.
I'm safe to release this fear
I'm safe to release this fear
of tragic death
of tragic death
under the lips and imminent doom.
and imminent doom.
I'm so sorry.
I'm so sorry.
This is totally natural.
This is totally natural.
I just want to escape this pain
I just want to escape this pain
and hope it doesn't turn
and hope it doesn't turn
into anything more severe.
into anything more severe.
I love and accept myself
I love and accept myself
just as I am right now.
just as I am right now.
I'm open to the possibility
I am open to the possibility
that I can resolve any pain
that I can resolve any pain
with my curiosity,
with my curiosity,
my own proactive
with my own proactive
choices,
choices,
and self-compassion.
and self-compassion.
I can do this.
I can do this.
I'm stronger than I know.
I'm stronger than I know.
Take a deep breath. Where I like to tap on the tummy with both hands, just all around, wherever you feel like something is knotted up a little. So what are you feeling right now? What's the most negative feeling you can access?
It's a tension in the heart. I don't know what the emotion is. It's hard to label.
Okay, I got it. You ready?
Yeah.
Okay, I add a lot of different methods over my time and experience doing this. So this is this Chinese energetics part I like to do. So tap around the tummy and just tune into the sense of grief, the grief we have around being out of control in our health, feeling really vulnerable, at all the unseen things that could affect us, all the things that can start growing in us from our own innate thinking, toxins we've been exposed to repetitively over our lives. Like, there's a lot of grief of things we can't undo. I think I drove behind a truck of Roundup, someone's spraying Roundup for 3 miles. You know, what am I going to do about that? I can't undo that. And I have tremendous grief about things like that. So just tune into this kind of grief around our wellness. Like a lot of us don't have enough energy these days, or you don't feel like we can do it all. Or we feel guilty that we're not as productive, you know, all of that. So just this fear and grief around our wellness. And let's say, I delete this grief.
I delete this grief.
Minus infinity.
Minus infinity.
I want you to take a deep breath. Look at me. I like to show my hands. And now just press your arms very engaged, the palms facing the earth. And just imagine that you're your own Bruce Lee right now, and that we're expressing this energy signature of grief that's been hanging out around our bones, in our nervous system, in our blood, in our whole energetic body, and shoot it out of the palms of your hands, the soles of your feet, your genitals, the base of your spine, and your throat. Like kind of where you're and just imagine shooting this energy into the earth that gets totally neutralized and grounded down and just gets turned to compost. So just don't be afraid to release this grief and anything that's attached to it, like all the stuff in our mind that we're going over and over, you know, all this information epidemic, the infodemic that's just, you know, making us not sure what we really need. So shoot that out of your brain and down and out, down and out. Let just take the confusion out, all the unclarity, all of the guilt and shame that we might have had for doing things repetitively. It's like drinking too much coffee or chocolate or, you know, whatever that we have our own guilt systems for. Just shoot it out and, you know, let your belly out, let that just release. And, you know, imagine the earth is just like sucking on a spaghetti, just sucking it out of your feet, right out of you. This grief doesn't need to be there. We need our vitality. We need to be on our own team emotionally, psychologically, to support our physical body. You know, our body knows when we're not feeling good, something is off, but we don't have to assign fear to it. We need to assign curiosity to it. We need to assign rest and rejuvenation and rehydration to it. So just letting this go. Good job. And this is collective, like what we're doing, whoever's watching this, there's a lot of energy coming, especially out of my left arm right now. A lot of that feminine, like we hold so much in because we're caring too much. You know, we care even more about all the details. So it's like, let's let that worry out. And let's let trust take that place. Trust that we have everything we need around us to support us nutritionally, vitality. We have our breath, you know, our breath cleanses things out. Okay, let's just take one more deep breath. Good, if you're burping or yawning. So let's tap on the tummy again. And now this is where we just kind of partner with strength to the paradox, so that we come into a neutral place. So we say both the good and the bad. So I'm strong to this old grief.
I'm what? Sorry?
I'm strong to this old grief.
I'm strong to this old grief.
I'm strong to my wellness.
I'm strong to my wellness.
I'm strong to my radiance.
I'm strong to my radiance.
I'm strong to digesting life.
I'm strong to digesting life.
I'm strong to fear.
I am strong to fear.
Strong to my strength.
I'm strong to my strength.
I'm strong to my innate wisdom.
I'm strong to my innate wisdom.
My cells are singing love songs to each other.
My cells are singing love songs to each other.
I'm open to the possibility.
I am open to the possibility.
That feeling at peace.
That feeling at peace.
In my body.
My body.
Regardless.
Regardless.
Of what's going on in the world.
Of what's going on in the world.
Take a deep breath. Tap on the head. We're not going to do this much longer. It's safe to be me now.
It's safe to be me now.
It's safe to be in my body.
It's safe to be in my body.
I am worthy of personal self-care.
I am worthy of personal self-care.
I am worthy of my own time and attention.
I am worthy of my own time and attention.
It's safe for me
It's safe for me
to invest in my health now.
to invest in my health now.
I thank my future self
I thank my future self
for guiding me so well
for guiding me so well
already.
already.
Okay. Let's put our hands together. Take a deep breath. And let's just say, what do you want to feel right now? Like one main emotion.
Clear.
Okay.
Clarity.
So let's just look through the center and say, I am clarity.
I am clarity.
I am clarity.
I am clarity.
I am clearing.
I am clearing.
I am clear.
I am clear.
I am clear.
I am clear.
I'm clarity.
I am clarity.
I'm clarifying.
I'm clarifying.
Let's put our hands together and say, and so it is, and so it is, and so it is.
And so it is, and so it is, and so it is.
Your hands on your heart and say, thank you, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Mm. Mm. Thank you.
I always like to end it on the thank you.
It's interesting because, you know, you don't really have time to think about much when you're moving your hands and you're taught and you're repeating, you have to pay attention. So it does bring us back into presence, no matter what. Supposedly, we can only pay attention to 3 things at once. That's like the typical, you know, attention span. So those cover all 3 bases, and then we're locked into presence. So I feel a lot more embodied and present from the process. That's just my reflection, my immediate reflection of the experience.
Thanks. I know it's you feel different pretty quickly.
Mm-hmm.
It's just a matter of actually doing it, just like deep breathing, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly. Wow, that was very awesome. There are so many things that I'd like to touch on with you. I know that you have so many awesome talents and tools to share. So perhaps we can have another, and perhaps I can have you on again for another podcast, part 2, where we can talk about some of the other things. Especially, I was really, really curious about the transformational art work using, what exactly, how did I call it?
Creative healing and using art for transformation.
There you go. Yeah. Because I have experienced that with you previously, just by coming into contact with you. And then some of the things that you facilitated in different groups where I was present, and I found them to be extremely powerful as well, equally powerful. So perhaps you would be willing to come on again and share some of that with us.
I'd love to.
Yeah.
So great connecting with you. I love your energy.
I love your energy too, and I'm very grateful to have you in my life, and to be able to share and reflect. And I'm looking forward to bringing this out to the world, and hopefully help a few people, whoever's tuning in, with this technique, or at least get them curious to go looking.
We actually made people do it since we were doing it, I hope.
Mm-hmm. I hope so too. I definitely.
It's not going to be the same thing.
I definitely feel a lot calmer, like
Yeah.
just really, really calm me down.
It's the #1 tool for anxiety, truly. and trauma release.
Mm-hmm.
It really does get to the core root, and that's why I'm such a fan still, because you never have to work on that same trauma again.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I know that different techniques work for different people, and we don't know until we try. And this one might be the perfect fit for someone. So I encourage you to reach out to Veruschka. I'm going to leave all of the links below. And if anyone is interested, you can just send her a message, check out her websites, and be in touch. So I didn't want this recording to last for too long. So I'm wondering if there's any last words that you would like to share.
Yeah, I do. I mean, that was definitely a very short tapping session and off the cuff. And, I was kind of surprised when the words death and our, our passing kind of came out. But that's really what, at the end of the day, we're afraid of when we're, if we're sick, oh, we're going to die. It's always worst case scenario. So I was sort of surprised. So that could be obviously a 1 hour session to really cover the level of grief we have, and also fear around, the body thing. So lastly, what I just wanted to share is just the importance of thanking our body every day and saying I love you to our body for being we should, we treat our really nice cars really well. How about treating ourselves like this is our vehicle? And yeah, I just keep getting the message consistently this summer of thank your body, nature just whispering, thank your body. And that's going to bring the most healing.
I agree. I agree.
You're going to be constantly fear mongering. You're just going to have more stress than if
Mm-hmm.
you're in. Thank you for putting up with all this stress. Thank you for being able to process this poor air quality. Thank you. That's the repair work.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree. Because it is a scientific fact that when we are stressed, our immune system decreases. So just that alone is a factor in health and wellness, mind relaxing. So thank you so much, Veruschka. I'm very, very grateful. Thank you for all the efforts you put in to make it here and to connect with me. And I look forward to the next exchange. And I hope that the fires and everything, start to die down up in the mountains.
Fire season is nature's way. It's a little more radical these days. But yeah, thank you.
Okay. I'll talk to you soon.